So today we're going to be creating, this is an example of what we're going to be creating today, just like a nice particle background kind of effect here. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up here to File, New, and we're going to create a new project, and we're going to do 1920 by 1080. And you can just copy all the settings I have here. Background contents, we can just keep it white for now. Now, once you create your new project or whatever, the background's going to be white. So make sure you have that layer selected, and just click Command or Control I, and that will invert the colors and change it to black. So to start off, what we want to do first, we want to set up our scene. So as you can see in our example image, we have like this nice orange glow effect radiating from the bottom of the image. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure down here we have our colors selected. Now I'm choosing this nice orange. The color code is down here if you want to copy that. But yeah, we're going to just use a nice orange today. You can use any color you want, it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do, make sure we have the color selected, then go over here to our brush tool. And then the brush we want to scroll up to the top. And I'm going to pick a soft brush. Any of these soft brushes up here are pretty much the same thing. They're default, so it came with your Photoshop. Now, the size, we're going to move the size up to around 2500 pixels. I want the circle bigger than the project, so we can it'll work nice in this way. So what I want you to do, I want you to line up this circle, or center this circle with the bottom of the page, and line up the top of the circle about halfway up. And then you can just, you know what we forgot to do? Before you do that, make sure you create a new layer. Okay, then you can line this up. And all you have to do is click once you have it lined up where you want it. Now once we did that, now we can select our glow layer, and I'm going to change the opacity down to 40%. Nice and subtle, not too out there, not in your face, Now next what we're going to do, I'm going to copy this color because I'm going to need it for later, so you guys can do that too if you want. Now next thing we're going to do, we're going to go down here to our color palette, and do you see this black and white square right over top your palette? Just click on that once, and what that will do, that will change your colors to black and white. Now what we're going to do, we're going to create another new layer. We're going to go Filter, Render, Clouds, and that will create black and white clouds for you right there. And this will give us a nice texture to our background. Now what I want you to do is drag your cloud layer underneath the glow layer. Change the filter on it to screen, and the opacity to 40%. Or sorry, not 40%. The opacity to 6%. I'm going to do 7%. Just somewhere between 5 and 10% is what I found worked best with this tutorial. So now that we have our scene set up, we need to create our particles, and in order to do this, we need to create our own brush. We're going to do this from scratch right here, guys. So what I want you guys to do is go File, New. We're going to create a new project here. Go 100 by 100. So we need, it doesn't have to be too big. Background contents to be transparent, so we're not even going to have a background on this. Now, once you're here, what I want you to do, I want you guys to go over here to your rectangle tool, click and hold on that, and go down and select your polygon tool. Now this will help us create our triangle. So what I want you to do, just click anywhere on the artboard. I'm just going to click. And now, as you can see, the screen pops up that says Create Polygon. Now the width and the height are going to both be 100 pixels. We're going to create an equilateral triangle. And as you can see, the number of sides is 3, which will create a triangle for us. And just click OK. Now that you have your triangle, I'm just going to move it upright and center it on the artboard. So now I'm just going to rasterize the layer. Once you have that selected, all you got to do is go up to Edit, Define Brush Preset, and you can name your brush whatever you want. I already have one made, So you guys can go ahead and click OK. I'm going to click cancel. So now that we have our brush, we don't need this project anymore, so you can just click off of that. Now we're back here. So now we need to create our particles. So over here, select your brush tool. Now, once you select your brush tool, you need to select your triangle brush. So you need to go up here to this drop down menu and scroll all the way down to the brush you created. Now we have this triangle here. Now we're going to go to this other thing. Right beside that drop down menu is this folder with 3 brushes on it. I hope you guys can see that. Now click on that, and this is where you can change all the settings and the properties that have to do with your brush, and it will change the outcome of how it will look when you're placing it on your project. So the size, we're just going to move the size down to about, let's say, 50 pixels. Size doesn't really matter, it's all personal preference. Now the spacing, I'm going to move the spacing up to 100% here. Now, once you're done that, we're going to go down to Shape Dynamics. And Shape Dynamics, we're going to change the size jitter and move that all the way up to 100%. Angle jitter up to 100%. And roundness jitter up to 100%. Then we're going to go down to Scattering. And we're going to move scattering up to around 500%. Doesn't have to be exact. Count jitter, let's just move that up to 50. No, not color dynamics. And then transfer is the last one you guys are going to have to do. Opacity jitter, let's move opacity jitter up to 50% as well. And what that will do, that will randomize the opacity on the certain triangles in the piece. And now doing this is a lot easier than just doing it all freehand. You know, it randomizes it a lot more, makes it less obvious that you've done it all by hand, you know. So what we're going to do, now that we have all our settings configured, we're going to create a new layer, drag this layer underneath the clouds in the glow layer. And now all you have to do, first we need to pick the color of what we want our particles to be. And I'm going to use that same orange color, so I'm just going to paste the code down there. Oops. I'm going to paste the code down there. Click OK. Now that we have our color, all you got to do is take your cursor and just click and drag across the screen. Just like that. Now, as you can see, they're a little bit close together, so if you want, you could adjust the spacing. I mean, it's all personal preference, right? Now, I'm just gonna click and drag across the screen just a little bit randomly here. Now, see, there's our particles right there, guys. Now, to add a little bit more depth to this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click over here and click on the blur tool, and we're just gonna blur. Not all of these, and we're not going to blur all of the triangles, but I'm going to blur out some of them just to make it more random and more abstract, you know. Now, of course, this doesn't look as good as the example image, but it's pretty close, you know. Like, I'm not going to get it perfect in this tutorial because I'm limited on the time I have here. But as you can see, it's pretty similar as to what we did here. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.